Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be talking about some interesting leaks that apparently has come from a Rockstar developer. So I'll leave a link to this original post in the description so you can feel free to check it out for yourself and also determine if you feel like these are legitimate or not. The post says, "Hi, I worked at Rockstar on RDR2 for a little over 6 years and felt like talking about some of the stuff that was removed from the game for one reason or another. This is going to be a pretty long list, and most of it is from memory and will spoil a lot of the story in the final product. You've been warned." Also, some of this stuff may contradict other things because we basically had to remake the game from the ground up multiple times in a lot of areas. So this was posted in December or around there and has since been deleted. Again, some of the things that have said here are a little silly. Some of them actually sound really cool. So I'll let you make that determination for yourself. Either way, it's interesting to take a look at stuff like this because Rockstar have even gone on record themselves and confirmed that like 6 hours worth of content was cut from Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a lot. I mean, imagine all the things you could get done in 6 hours and then sort of compare that to what Rockstar could have removed from the game. So I'm not going to be going over everything that this person wrote because there are literally 81 points. So that's why I'll leave a link to it in the description. Today, we are going to be going over the main points. So one of the things that was apparently cut from the game is that you were supposed to start in 1877 when Arthur joined Hosea and Dutch until the gang broke up in 1899. Then you had the epilogues. A lot of the events before 1899 we had planned were turned into expository dialogue or put in 1899. Man, I am so bummed out if that's the case because I would love to know what Arthur's life was like and what the gang's life was like for that matter before 1899. And that's why I'm begging that Rockstar does a sort of story mode DLC that shows us what happened before 1899. That would just be amazing. The second thing that's interesting is that there was going to be 2 epilogues based on if you got the Coyote, which was the bad ending, or the Buck, which was the honorable ending. The Buck would have you play as John Marston as he built Beecher's Hope, and the Coyote would have you play as Dutch as he formed his gang of Native Americans. The idea was that a low honor player could go around robbing and killing while it wouldn't be out of character, and it would also encourage more playthroughs. Man, again, if that's the case, I am so bummed out. How cool would that have been to play as Dutch if you were low honor? And this does make sense because even though your honor does have an impact on the final outcome of the game, it doesn't necessarily like change anything all that much. Like Arthur still dies and you still play as John, so it would have been really cool to see this change take place, to be able to play as Dutch. The third thing that I found to be interesting is that you were supposed to be able to have gang members ride around with you in the open world. In fact, we've even seen like glitches like this happen, where Sadie will follow around Arthur. Now, this individual goes on to say you could only control the 3 protagonists though. That would be Hosea, Dutch, and Arthur. And then if you were a Buck, John, Sadie, and Charles, and if you were a Coyote, it would be Javier, Bill, and Dutch. Javier and Bill were supposed to have been working with Dutch and loyal to him up until Dutch drove them off with his paranoia sometime after the epilogue, but before 1911. So again, I would have loved that, being able to play as all the different characters, but I guess Rockstar just made things a whole lot more simple. Apparently, there was also supposed to be way more areas of the map, like Southern California, San Diego, Baja California. Nuevo Paraiso was also going to make a return, and New Hanover had more towns based off of cities in central Texas. And Armadillo would also be extended westward and have a town on the land border of Mexico about the size of Blackwater based off of El Paso. So this would have been great because that's one of the big things I feel about the New Austin territory is I feel like it's very underwhelming in terms of people, things to do, towns, stuff like that. So that would have been a really nice addition to the game if there were more areas to explore. Speaking of more areas to explore, apparently you were supposed to be able to take a ship to Guarma anytime after the end of Chapter 5. This one seems a little bit fishy to me because why would anyone want to go back to Guarma? It would be cool for the character to be able to explore Guarma, but like, why would you voluntarily go back there, especially after their experience there? This next one is very interesting. Instead of having the mission-to-mission system that GTA and Red Dead Redemption used, they were going to have it so that you had to meet certain objectives through optional missions or free roam activities, usually around earning money through certain crimes before the story would advance. That would be very cool. It would certainly make the game very dynamic, but I could also see how it could get very confusing for a casual player who might not necessarily understand why they can't progress through the game just because they haven't, earned X amount of money or gotten a certain weapon or something like that. This next bit is interesting. Apparently, there wasn't an explanation for how Arthur got tuberculosis originally. It was just supposed to be a random and cruel event to justify a shift in attitude. This was later switched around to it being a direct result of his actions loan sharking, dealing with Thomas Downs, as we know, of course. This next leak is insane if it was true. Apparently, you could go back to Blackwater and New Austin whenever you wanted as Arthur. You could even recover the ferry heist take. Bringing it back to Dutch would cause him to hide it somewhere else. It didn't really change the outcome at all, and this was changed because playtesters would often refuse to advance the story until they were playing as John or Dutch, since there was nothing to gain and they didn't want Arthur to die. That certainly makes sense, and we've actually seen Arthur in New Austin in official trailer footage, like that Rockstar has uploaded to their own social media pages. So Arthur was in New Austin and in Blackwater, but it doesn't really explain why he was there. This next one's kind of interesting. Apparently, there was supposed to be a hardcore mode where you could only save at beds and you couldn't fast travel using trains or stagecoaches. That's interesting. I know a lot of people that play games like Fallout and Skyrim and, open world games like that really embrace a hardcore setting. But I think Rockstar wanted to make Red Dead Redemption 2 like way more viable to a casual person. So that's probably why that option was not included. This next point is very interesting. Apparently the horse classes had different bonding unlocks based on their class at max bond. So for example, war horses would intentionally trample and stomp on people attacking you. Race horses would stop losing stamina while galloping on roads, and work horses carried 4 smaller carcasses instead of 2. And superior horses had all of these advantages. That would have been awesome, although I feel like it would have made the superior horses very overpowered, so I'm not sure how well that would have worked, but it would have been cool to see the horses and the different breeds and classes have some unique and different attributes, and we sort of don't see that. I know a lot of you mystery hunters will be interested in this next one. Apparently, there was going to be a lot more to those rock carvings that Francis Sinclair wanted us to find. Apparently, we would be transported to a retro future cityscape. And it was supposed to be jokingly implying that there was a civilization in another universe at the exact same time that was accidentally crossing over into the RDR universe. And maybe that would explain why there's such like a time-traveling vibe to Francis Sinclair, and maybe that would have just dove into it a little bit more. Not sure why Rockstar decided to not include that if this is indeed true. Maybe they wanted to let us think for ourselves a little bit, but that still would have been amazing. So that right there should give you a pretty good overview of some of the things that were apparently cut from Red Dead Redemption 2, if this post, of course, is real. You want to take everything we've discussed today with a grain of salt, because it is just coming from someone who claims they worked at Rockstar. Although, if you take a look at the post for yourself, that is a lot of stuff to fake just so people will think you work for Rockstar. And maybe that's what this person did, but maybe they are telling the truth. And if that is the case, they gave us a lot of insight on some of the things that Rockstar didn't include in Red Dead Redemption 2 that might make its way into the game in a story mode expansion, but more likely could make its way into Red Dead Online. As we saw with GTA 5, a lot of the things that Rockstar had originally planned for the story mode eventually sort of made its way into the multiplayer version. So will we see some of this stuff again? Potentially. I know some of it would be cool. I know a lot of the things we talked about applied to the single-player characters only, but there's a lot of things here on this list that could definitely apply to online. So that's why I recommend you check it out for yourself. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed in this video today and more. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.